We'd like to welcome to Art in the Air Spotlight from Lakeshore Public Media, talking about the second screening and discussion of America's 250th anniversary. We have Michelle Hassinger, and she is the actually a board member there, but also is heading up the second event. And our guest today, that's Dr. Ellen Szarleta, and they'll be talking about, first of all, a little bit about the details of the event, and she's one of the panelists with us. Welcome to Art in the Air Spotlight.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah, very nice meeting both of you.
Well, Michelle, we'll start with you to talk about this event, maybe how it differs from the Valpo event, and, just the information background on how you're approaching this one.
Absolutely. We are really excited to have Lakeshore Public Media hosting a second community event, screening the PBS documentary, The American Revolution. The Lake County screening is going to be on Thursday, June 23rd from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Maryville branch of the Lake County Public Library. This program is part of a nationwide commemoration marking the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The Lake County screening is going to focus on the spirit of service, and attendees will be viewing excerpts from the 12-part PBS documentary, The American Revolution, which is directed by acclaimed filmmaker Ken Burns, along with Sarah Bolstein and David Schmidt. Our screening is going to be followed by a panel discussion exploring service and civic engagement as a core American value. And we are really excited to have excellent representation across the region serving as the discussion panel for this event. Those attendees include Eddie Melton, the mayor of Gary, Kelly Anno, the president and CEO of Legacy Foundation, representing nonprofit, Mike Tolbert, founding partner at Tolbert & Tolbert and also a former president of the Indiana State Bar Association, Paul Rodriguez, vice president of People's Bank, Isaiah Harvey, a youth innovator, junior at Maryville High School and founder of Quantum Visionary Foundation, and of course, not least of all, Dr. Ellen Szarleta, the director of Indiana University Northwest Center for Urban and Regional Excellence. I'm going to introduce or hand it over to Ellen here to just talk a little bit about some of her background and how it relates to our theme of the spirit of service and civic engagement. Ellen?
Good afternoon, Michelle, and thank you. And I am very happy to be here this afternoon. Briefly, as Michelle said, I'm the director of the Center for Urban and Regional Excellence, and one of our responsibilities is to connect the university's knowledge and experience with that of the community. One of the ways that we have done this is to work with the Indiana Bar Foundation and a number of other organizations across the state to produce what's called the Indiana Civic Health Index. The first one was put out in 2011, and our last one was put out just recently in January of 2026. It's our 2025 edition with a few in between, 5, 6. I think I lost count, Larry. So it's, if you want to think about it as the state's report card on civic health, I think that's a really good way for us to connect to what the value is of the Civic Health Index. And so I'm one of the authors there, been lead author in the past, and I'm really excited to be part of this panel.
Will there be hard information on that? Are there some housing and placemaking things in development now? I mean, actually happening?
Yeah. So, well, the Civic Health Index has two main components to it. One is the report card, how we're doing on different categories of civic engagement. People may not really recognize how many different forms there are for us to get engaged in our communities. And so that data does talk about differences between rural and urban, and then we have recommendations. Those recommendations have primarily been in the area of civic education, recognizing that improving civic health starts with our youth and their understanding of democracy. So we have not produced anything in the way of housing recommendations or anything like that. If I can briefly tell you about the categories, we're talking about a category, of course, voting and voter registration is one way that we are actually measuring civic engagement. Another would be volunteering. So this would be a more informal structure that we use to express our civic connections. We also look at how people interact with institutions. Originally, when it first started with newspapers, with radio, now we look at social media and other forms of institutions there. And then, of course, we also look at individual interactions with local government primarily. So things like participating with our local officials. So those are the main areas of civic engagement this particular report takes a look at. And so I hope to share some of those details, because there's lots of details. We've got some real strengths. We also have some areas that we have to work on. And I think our other panelists will be talking about how this then connects, and I'll talk a little bit how it connects to the Ken Burns American Revolution, because essentially we started as a nation of service. And so we're going to take a look 250 years later and see how we're doing here in the state of Indiana.
In our final moments, Michelle, why don't you tell us the details again about how people can come see the event at the Lake County Library?
Absolutely. Ellen, we are super excited to have you. Again, that will be on Thursday, June 23rd from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Maryville branch of the Lake County Public Library. You can go to the Lakeshore Public Media website to register to attend the event. No cost to register, but please do go and register in advance. And Ellen and our other panelists, as well as the 30-minute screening, we are really excited to talk about civic engagement and the spirit of service, and really motivate the region to volunteer.
Well, we'd like to thank you for coming on to the Air Spotlight, Michelle Hassinger, and of course, Dr. Ellen Szarleta. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing. The event again is June 23rd, and you can find out information at lakeshorepublicmedia.org website and click on the graphic. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Michelle.
Thank you so much.
Art on the Air Spotlight and the complete 1-hour program on Sunday is brought to you by Ember Forge Consulting, with end-to-end expertise in learning strategy, design, and implementation. Ember Forge turns your organization's knowledge into impact. To learn more, visit emberforgeconsulting.com.